3. Okay, here we go.
Alrighty.
Steve Day.
Fire in the hole.
Steve Day from the Day Residence.
That's right. And if I had 6 more brothers, we'd be a week.
They call him.
All right, let's keep it clean, boys and girls.
They call him Dancing Day.
That's right.
Woody Wood.
Sí, right on the
Dancing Day and Woody Wood.
All right.
What are we turking off?
And we've got Andy Bussard running camera tonight. Thank you, Andy. It's awesome to have you. All right, guys.
AKA the Secretary.
I hear myself peeking out. I'm going to lower this a little bit, and let's put on that smile and do a wonderful show number 208 tonight.
In the house.
Woody's in the
Right?
house.
All right. I'm going to turn my mic down just a touch because I can hear myself being really loud. I don't know why it is because I have a voice. All right, give us a countdown, Andy. 3, 2, 1. The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. And by GL Robotics. With over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Further support is provided by K&R Models. We dare to build. Check out their website at knrmodels.net. And by InterMountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 208 for September 10th, 2022. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of that What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Magazine and a Hobbyist Magazine. And I love saying that because I did the interview with Bachman Industries. Larry did a fantastic job, and he presents a lot of new products, which is what this month is all about on this show, is that we're talking about a lot of the new products that we discovered at the NMRA National here in St. Louis. And tonight's no exception. We got a lot of new products from InterMountain on the table, and a lot of neat stuff to talk about tonight. First of all, sitting over here in Mike Buddy's spot, I've got Woody Wood with us this evening. Hey, Woody.
What's up?
It's nice to have you. Now, Woody is a gentleman that made us this beautiful What's Neat This Week sign that is hanging on the bottom of the table, actually cut out of metal. He's got an amazing computer-controlled plasma cutter that does just fantastic work. And yes, it's all individual pieces of metal, including the 2 pairs of glasses, which I do have on tonight. On the other side of me, I've got this smiling little devil that teaches dancing,
Hey.
Stephen Day.
How you guys doing?
And as you have seen, he was on the show with us for the RPM meet, which I just watched the other day. That was a great show. You're sitting with me and Holly on that one. That
Yes,
was
sir.
fun.
Yes, you
Absolutely.
were.
And he is with Lundy Studios. Y'all remember Robert Lundy, Bob Lundy, that created these beautiful buildings from Magnuson models, DPM, and all of the original kits that we used to build going back 25 years on our layouts. And they're still at it. He's still building neat stuff. And
Yes, sir.
the last show, you showed off a lot of N-scale buildings, the bus station, the hotels. A lot of beautiful buildings were on that show.
And we also do HO scale, so don't think it's just N scale.
That's awesome.
Right on.
And tonight you're going to be talking about N-scale fire engines,
Yes,
and I
sir.
can't wait to hear about that. Okay, in the news, obviously, England, the UK has been in the news this week, and all the flags around here in Missouri and actually up at the local grocery store are half-mast. I was there. I was born in England, so therefore my queen did die. but there will be a new king. And Jennifer Kirk, our great friend from over there in the UK, she has been elected to be in a podcast competition with regards to the most popular podcast in the UK.
Nice.
And Jenny gave me some text to read. Over in the UK, Hornsby Magazines are seeking your help to vote in their annual awards for the model industry, recognizing the work of manufacturers, retailers, innovators in the hobby. But this year there's a special new category they've never done before for the YouTubers over there in the UK. And as you know, Jennifer Kirk has got a fantastic YouTube show. She's always working hard to convince and sell sponsorship in order to improve the production values of the show, just like we've done here with the 14 or 18 different sponsors that we rotate in and out to help promote this, the best hobby in the world. And it's a family affair. Obviously, it's business, but it's also a partnership program, whereas we are trying to help the folks that help us, and what we get out of it is better production values, better equipment, a travel budget, and things like that.
Nice.
But you can go over there and vote for Jennifer Kirk. And Kirk has been shortlisted in recognition of the work that she does to promote the best hobby in the world on YouTube, and you can vote for her as well as some of the other podcasters over there. There's various categories, and you can go to www.keymodelworld.com/article Hornby Magazine Model Railway Awards 2022. And I'm probably, if I'm doing my edit right, I've just typed that all out on the screen so you can find it. Otherwise, just Google Hornby Magazine, and you're probably going to find the category where you can vote for Jennifer Kirk, which we love, or any of the other podcasters over there in the UK, to keep it fair for all of them. As you'll recall, we had the same thing here in the United States about 4 years ago when James Wright had a competition contest for the best podcast or video show on YouTube, which Lionel Strang and our show were very, very close neck and neck. And I'm very happy to say that we did get the award for the video podcast.
Nice.
What James Wright did was he broke it up into two groups. Audio only podcasts, which that's what Lionel Strang won first place for. And then we won the first place award in 2018 for the best video podcast, sponsored by JLWII 2000, otherwise known as James Wright. So thank you very much for that. Jennifer Kirk, we wish you all the best. You are very good at what you do, girl, and you have all of our respect. So with that, I don't want to launch into the new products just yet, but let's go over to Woody. Now, Woody, you drove a long way to be here on this show, brother, and you're going to talk about some amazing stuff that we've seen Daniel Coombs talk about in the past, because you're into the 7.5-inch gauge railroading, and obviously because you have a metal shop, you're capable of doing what I can do with wood with metal.
Exactly. I mean, an HO scaler for years, still am, have a layout in my basement. But just started recently over the last couple of years getting into 1.5 scale, 7.5-inch gauge. I built a 52-foot Milgon Grand Trunk, all by scratch, CNC programmed and cut the sides, and then built the whole thing, fabricated, welded it all together, and got that built. And then I'm now currently working on like an SW, it's either going to be an SW 900 or an SW 1200 Grand Trunk locomotive. So I got the trucks, started working on those. I got one all powered up and started working on the second one, and hopefully start building the frame and getting that all together. That's going to be I'm pretty excited about that.
That's cool, and you've got a lot of photographs to share with us of the progress of this model.
Yeah, I currently have like a little switcher, a little 2-axle switcher that I run around my 300-foot radius backyard layout right now, but that's going to replace that when I get this built. There's a place called White Creek Railroad out in Cedar Springs, Michigan, and they have 5 miles
Holy moly.
of track. 5 miles. Goes in throughout the woods. He's got a little town set up. It's great. It's by appointment only. If you get a hold of him, he has a couple open meets every year and then a couple card meets every year. If you can get on their website and look them up, you can just put in White Creek Railroad and Cedar Springs. It'll come up. and you can look them up, and it'll post when they have open meets. And open meets, anybody can show up, and people can ride the trains all over the place out in the woods. It's a great time.
That's awesome. Now, I told you tonight that Holly and Joshua Barton have both been pushing me to lay tracks in my front yard, which is relatively flat. We've got about an acre and a quarter out front that we can work with, and I'm pretty sure the deer aren't going to damage that track work.
Right, and I want to make sure everybody understands that watches this show that they need to pressure Ken to build this 1.5 scale layout in his front yard. He's got plenty of room, and you can landscape them. They don't look. It's not like it looks atrocious. It's shrubs and flowers, and it's just they're just a good time. So relaxing. When I'm working out in the shop, I'm trying to get stuff done for the market the next Saturday, and sometimes it's just a rough day at work. You go out there and you just sit in that train and just ride around. It just melts the stress away. It's amazing. And building the cars and stuff is just starting to get into that. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to just keep going with the hobby.
There's a couple of clubs here in St. Louis, one down in Pacific near the Merrimack River floodplain area where they've got tracks laid. And there was another one in Eureka, but right now I think they're relocating. Okay. And that's the group that Daniel Coombs was heavily involved with.
Right, I remember him telling.
And some of those steam locomotives, I mean, they are works of art. I mean, they've got to weigh a couple of tons.
Oh, yeah. Even my little switcher, I load with a high-low on my track.
Right.
It's still that heavy, because if I'm by myself, I have a little high-low and I load it on the track. The Gone, I got to unload with a high-low.
How do you transport that?
I have a woodside trailer, flat trailer. It's got rails bolted in it, and you just load them up on there and strap them down. Just, if you can manufacture or build the stuff yourself, you're better off. But because if you buy it, I'll be honest, it's not cheap. But the more you can do on your own. But there's a lot more manufacturers making stuff now. 40 years ago, people had to build everything from scratch. The only ones that had the stuff like this for the hobby, they had machine shops, or they were tool and die guys, and they were making all their own wheels, they were making all their own components all by hand, because it just wasn't like you didn't go down to your local hobby shop and go, yeah, give me the 1.5 scale Jeep 37.
Right.
Deep 36.
I couldn't even imagine the box.
Deep 38.
The box art
right?
for a product like that. But you showed me a lot of photographs, and the photos we might have already shown some of this gondola getting built, but I do recall the shots that you shared with me of this basic frame getting welded together, and then you're building the body of the gondola itself with these beautiful photographs, as you've got quite an impressive shop that you're working with and a workspace.
I'll admit I have an edge on most people. I have the 5 foot by 5 foot CNC plasma cut table. It's physically bigger than that, but that's the space I can cut in. And I'm totally self-taught CNC. Nobody trained me on that. I just had to figure it all on my own. I had a smaller 2 foot by foot table when I started. Now I have the bigger one, and now I'm able to make actual car sides, and I can't wait to cut a caboose. And when I got the heavy duty flat car, I want to make a crane on. So it's just amazing.
I'm very impressed with these photos that we're showing right now of you actually turning the wheels.
Yeah, I had some tool and die guys. They helped me with that. I bought the round 7-inch by 1.1 blanks, and these guys, I'm not a machinist, so some guys owed me some favors, so they hooked me up with that, which also, it worked out with that. And then even the side frames of the switcher that I'm building now, I CNC cut them out of 1/2-inch plate steel on my CNC.
Right.
So, and then just put it all together, made the trucks.
Now, you're also building a locomotive.
Yep.
And you were showing me the power truck for this locomotive, and this is going to be powered by hydrostatic.
Hydraulics. Not hydrostatic, but hydraulics. It's actually, I don't know if anybody else has ever done it this way. I'm hoping it works. I found hydraulic motors ain't much bigger than a pop can.
Okay.
And they're like 4.5 horsepower apiece. Wow. And the torque is just phenomenal on these things. And each truck is going to have one and then the change across each axle. So all four axles are going to be driven.
Nice. And this is going to be a Grand Trunk switcher, isn't it?
Yep. Grand Trunk switcher. Probably painted in black and white and the orange or whatever red, the Grand Trunk red they call it.
This is very cool, brother. This is really cool. I mean, what initiative. Now, your wonderful better half, Flower, presented me with this beautiful, oh my God, look at this jewelry.
Look at the bling on that.
What's neat this week, sippy cup, tumbler, which I know Holly's going to be taking to work because she loves Dr. Pepper, and that's what she'll be using, this beautiful cup. But thank you very much, Flower, for this artistry.
It's all resin, vinyl, then cover resin, and then the vinyl, then resin again. Yeah, it's some time involved, but she absolutely adores you, Kenneth.
Thank you,
She's
Flower.
sad she couldn't be here today, so
I love you too, baby.
we'll come back down.
All right, some exciting new products that we've got from InterMountain, and that's what this is all about. I didn't even know they made these cars. These are brand new, fresh off the boat, fresh off the press, never before seen on this show. And these are HO scale R7015 mechanical refrigerator cars. All of these comes with metal wheels and Katy couplers, which, as I show you the group shots of them that I shot outside this week, because yes, it was sunny and beautiful for 1 or 2 days this week. The first car that I've got is UPFE yellow, car number 452525, and I shot these cars from on top and on the sides so you could see the beautiful roof detail in that the roof walks have been stripped off of these, and they're modeled that way as per the prototype. The next one I've got is reporting mark CFCX, and this is a Great Northern car, post 1967 with the goat logo on it.
Nice.
Car number 8879 in orange, with a white roof. Absolutely beautiful freight car, Intermountain, rock and roll. The next one I'm going to talk about is this HO scale UPFE with the large shield on it. That's the one closest to Woody over here. Yep. And that car is car number 455390 with a white roof on it, as you can see in the outdoor photography.
Nice.
Absolutely a beautiful car, and these would lend themselves well to putting the Soundtrack's freight car sound decoder in them that they make, where you could have the wheel flange squeal, you could have the refrigerator car motor running as it goes down the tracks. It's an amazing sound system for freight cars where you can add that much more animation to an entire train by simply working 4 of those into the consist. Never mind the fact that Blue Nami was announced at the NMRA show this couple of weeks ago. Blue Nami is the Bluetooth decoder that you can operate with a tablet and or a cell phone. I think that will lend itself perfect to the new guys. Train sets, especially. The companies that make train sets need to check this out. This would be a staple for that, whereas the beginner doesn't have to buy a full-blown DCC system until they move themselves up to that level, but this is always compatible with both. Going back to the last Intermountain freight car that I've got, this is a special one. This is the white one here in the middle of the table. SPFE. This is a PFE car, modernized. Again, the mechanical reefer, R7015. Car number 452929. Again, this one's all in white, and it looked beautiful in outdoor sunlight, as did all of the cars. You can find these at the Intermountain website at intermountainrailways.com. Check it out, guys. There's a lot of those to look at, and you'll also be able to see these cars on the whatsneat.com index, as Randy Hook will put photographs of all of these there, linking it to the certain video that we talked about them on. And tonight, we're going to put these in a train and run them. I can't wait. I know, right? All right, Steve Day, you've got some really cool stuff to talk about tonight.
Yeah. Well, moving away from the CNC table, this yay big, we go to the kitchen table.
Right.
It's where I put together, got a little fire truck going on here. Since my buddy's not here, I'll pick up the mantle for that. These models are from Showcase Miniatures, and I want to thank Debbie for doing what she does over there. These are multimedia kits. If you look here, the body is resin, and then the body or the frame of the truck is white metal. If you see here with the other fire truck, the wheels you glue on, the seats you glue in place. Same thing with the ladder truck here. Then you move on, you get, you see here, you get a bag of parts. A lot of the stuff is white metal. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little brass rod in there that's used for the axle. And the biggest thing with this particular truck that I found that was most challenging but most rewarding was the actual ladder, which comes on 2 photo etch frets. And with this, you just take your time with it, and what I do is I put the fret on like a small glass frame and use a very sharp or new X-Acto number 11 knife, and I'm able to separate the ladder or the photo etch piece from the fret itself.
Nice.
And that way you don't get dents in your ladder. And then there's 3 separate foldings in what you see here. And what I'm doing with this truck, I bought 2 of them. So this one has the ladder stowed, and then this one I'm going to have the ladder actually extended. The other part of the photo etch on this guy is your diamond plate that if you look, you probably can't see it, but in there, that's where your diamond plate goes. Now another little thing like I did on this unit here, I painted the whole body white first, and then in order to get the equipment bays to stay white, instead of trying to mask this stuff up, I just used clay, stuck it in there, smoothed it out, and then shot it red, and then picked the clay out with the pick, and then that's what I mask on. The other thing that I do is I take the little skewers, the shish kebab skewers, and I take the same clay and I put it in the body, and then it sticks right onto the skewer, and then I stick it into some foam, and that's what holds it for me.
So you can paint it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Now the other little trick that you model for so long and then you forget stuff.
Oh.
Well, this particular idea popped back in my little head, right? When you kind of get that age, it's like, you start forgetting things.
Right.
So what I did with like the cab here is painted it white first, and then I masked off the white, and then before I shot the red on top of it, I shot it again with the white. So if you have any bleed through from your tape, it's white. Then you shoot the red on top of it, you get absolutely no bleed through.
Nice.
And all this I used Tamiya paint with this through an airbrush, just thinned it out. And again, this is a multimedia kit that I got from Debbie at Showcase Miniatures. And I've probably got about every one of the N-scale vehicles that they've got at this point. And there's like 20 or 30 of them. So they all make great models. So I want to thank her. And if you don't mind, I got to send a shout out to Lombard Hobbies, Jeff and Andrew over there.
We love them.
Without Andrew, I wouldn't know this guy right here.
Andrew's
so now
amazing.
We're homeboys.
No, right? Right?
But if you guys are shopping for stuff, Lombard Hobbies is the best. And I buy so much stuff from them. They're on my taxes for the last 2 years as a dependent.
Now, Lombard Hobbies helps us promote the What's Neat show over
Yes.
at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. Them and Bachman Industries are presently the 2 companies that work with us to help promote the hobby. And I really enjoy Anthony. He has been so good to us.
Yes.
And it's just, I still have got to get up there and see the store. And
You
with
do.
my life
That's
being in the
awesome.
chaos that I went through last summer, and now I've got a whole new wonderful life with a new girlfriend and a whole relationship with a 6-year-old, and everything is just perfect.
Don't take the 6-year-old in there.
But I do want to get up there and see the place.
You got to.
Landon's
Yeah,
good. He
he's
understands
a
the
good-
words
he's a
don't
good
touch.
kid.
I took him to the RPM meet and the NMRA show, and he was really well behaved at both shows. So I'm
good
so
kid.
impressed with him. That's right. You both got to meet him today. He
Yep,
loves you.
he
He was
loves
jumping
me.
in your lap
Yep,
today.
sure did. We're kind of the same age,
I love it.
I just want to thank Denny, too, because my shirt is from Denny, and appreciate you, bud.
So is mine.
Yeah. We're twins, actually.
I know, Woody. You need to get some shirts made by
Yeah,
Denny.
man.
I don't know if Flower made mine, so I'm
Okay.
not going to step out of that.
Nope.
No.
You're doing fine as you are, sir.
Trying to get me in trouble.
Not us.
Oh my God, the sound is spiking in my ears. Okay, so I talked to Keith out at K&R Models this week just to make sure that the models that we talked about last week that I got correct, and also the folks in readers' comments pointed out to me that, okay, I'm really bad at pronouncing the UK steam locomotives that we talked about, and I want to get it right. That green locomotive that I showed you last week from K&R Models is called the Belferon steam locomotive, and this has not got normal valve gear on the side of this locomotive. This locomotive is from 1853 is when it was originally built.
Wow.
And the valve gear on the side of it is so complex that it actually adds to the price of the model. It's not your simple steam locomotive that we're all used to here in the States. And I hope to get a product sample of that. The other one that I talked about was the Hunslet. And I actually got that one right. Hunslet locomotive. It actually works presently at a steel mill over there in the UK. And this locomotive is actually running right now, and he pointed it out to me as well. The last one that we are going to talk about was the GT3 gauge locomotive, and this is the locomotive that was a turbine locomotive. So it sounds like a jet airplane when it went past you. And this was built in the 50s. So at about the same, Union Pacific experimented with that in the late 50s, going into the early 60s with their turbines and all what they went through with the veranda, the slabs, and just, look at the beautiful turbines. Look at the one that Scale Trains came out with. I mean, just amazing models. And then Soundtracks also makes sound systems for those locomotives. But this GT3 locomotive, again, was made in 1950, and it was only a test model. This actual prototype never created revenue service, as Keith pointed out to me. And I thought it would be interesting to bring that up. But you can check out all these models that we talked about last week, and Keith will be on our show with us on the 8th of October.
Nice.
But check them out at krmodels.net. And I just wanted to make sure I got the names of those correct. There's so far, I think they've got 7 or 8 different models in production, including a couple of freight cars now that he's working with, and some of them aren't on his website. But we will have product samples of the Shay, of the GT3 locomotive, and eventually I'd like to get this SR Bullied locomotive, because that is really cool. It's a 0660 that looks like a diesel, but it's not. It's a steam locomotive. And last week on the show, I showed pictures of it running, and I'm probably showing them right now, full steamed. This is really cool. The models that he's chosen to make are really nice models.
Sweet.
I know, right? All right, so Denny Yelsma is going to come here again in the next, I think, 6 weeks. We've got something possibly scheduled with Denny. God love him. He's made all the hats that we handed out at the NMRA National and at the RPM meet. A lot of what's neat
I got
hats. Did you get one?
I got one, yeah.
I don't got one.
You don't got one?
You're going to get one tonight.
I've been looking. It took me forever to find this hat over the weekend.
Yeah, but you got to
Every
have
time I
what's...
go somewhere, nobody has a hat.
But tonight's show is brought to you by the letter N. Now,
N.
what Denny does is every single week he updates that website, and there are 6 new logos on the website. Now, you went to the Transportation Museum today, and you saw the Burlington Zephyr that we've got, the CB&Q shovel nose stainless steel Zephyr. That's a beautiful little consist.
That's one of my favorites.
Right?
And it's an N scale.
Yes, and Denny makes a beautiful logo of that can be put on a hat or a jacket. I've also got the Western Maryland. This is a 2662 articulated locomotive in gray, Western Maryland colors with the Fireball. That's one of those things that probably is about 250,000 stitches. That's a lot, and the thread is shiny. I got a DM and IR 2884 Yellowstone Locomotive 227, one of the new logos that he's just come out with. Also a Northern Pacific Class Z3 2884 Yellowstone Locomotive number 3008. What a beautiful, this is built in 1930, what a beautiful thing that would be on a jacket. And the last 2 logos that I want to show off for him is the Wabash 01 Class 484. Absolutely beautiful. Check out those wheels. Look at the colors on all of this. And the Duluth, Mesabi, and Iron Range logo for that railroad. These are brand new logos, fresh on his website as of this week. But the fact is, the show tonight is brought to you by the letter N as I launch into screen capture so I can show you the letter N, and also I'm bringing up his website, which I've got right here on the screen. You guys can see it up here on the screen over there as we go through the letter N. And as I recall, there are 2 pages of railroads starting with the letter N. And how many of them do you know? Right now, quick, before we even go through it, right? The Dixie Line, the railroad of Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railroad is the first one on the list. New York, New Haven Railroad. All the New Haven electrics, check it out.
That's a nice
Very
one
cool.
right there.
Is that beautiful?
That's nice.
That's, I guarantee you that's 300,000
Well, I like
stitches.
that one.
Yes.
P42.
Yes. There are a lot of New Haven logos that you can have put on a jacket or a hat, and it's coming into winter season now. This is the time to order your jackets. This Friday night, Holly took me to her son's football game, and I wore my What's Neat this week jacket at the game, and a lot of people ask me about the logo on the back. They usually ask me if I belong to a biker gang. Go figure. They do. New Haven. Now we got New Jersey Transit on the list with the F40PH locomotives in various paint schemes. The New York Central, we're all familiar with that, and their streamlined locomotives. Check it out, guys. And as we go down, we can see the what is that, an FM locomotive?
Yeah.
I think Bachmann came out with that model. And an F7 freight locomotive in the New York Central paint scheme. And of course, all the various logos that you could have stitched onto a shirt, along with these beautiful steam locomotives and the E units, E7 with the lightning stripes. Okay, NS. Did I say NNS? Norfolk Southern, right? That starts with the letter N. And here we are with the nickel plate road. A lot of gentlemen in the Midwest Valley Modelers layout modeled the nickel plate as we took the layout to various shows. And there's 2 pages of this that we're going to go over, so let me get the second page up on the website. If you haven't seen this website, it's very, very impressive.
Huge.
Did that go to page 2? Here we go. Page 2. Yelsma Graphics at yelsma.com. We've got the New York, Ontario, and Western Railroad logos. On some of these railroads, honest to God, I don't know a lot about. Susquehanna and Western Locomotive. Here we're back at NNS. Did I say NNS? NS, right? Oh my God.
The and is silent.
The thoroughbred horse, the Go Rail, which we've got. I think I've got one of those on the shelf from Athern. And this is the
Heritage
honoring the fire first responders locomotive. And this one, oh, I love
That's
this one.
nice.
This is the one we shot in an Athern photograph over a body of water, honoring our veterans. And I pulled a military train with this one. What a beautiful set of graphics on that. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Again, stitched with shiny threads. It would look dynamite. SD80 Max. They've got the full gambit of NS paint schemes and locomotives, including the heritage railroads that made up that railroad. The Southern, the Pennsylvania, the New York Central, the Virginia, the Wabash, Jersey Central, and of course, last but not least, what is this one? What is that one? Erie. Is that Erie Lackawanna? It is.
Yes.
Denny, you're so thorough on this. You've really done your research and your homework. Very
Penn
impressive.
Central.
Lackawanna Heritage Unit for the NS. Lehigh Valley. So he's really got everything covered. Nickel Plate Road, look at that. The Reading, Bachman came out with that locomotive in their paint schemes. And the Central of Georgia. There's a lot of N's going on here on Denny's website. There's no short list of what it is that you could have stitched for your articles of clothing coming up into this winter. So be sure to check this all out at yelsmagraphics.com. 611, that's also an N. Chicago North Shore Railroad. And at the bottom of the list, we are coming up to the big fours of the Northwest, the Great Northern, UP, Milwaukee Road, and Nickel Plate. Did I say Nickel Plate? Northern Pacific. So rock and roll, guys. Best hobby in the world, and Denny is the place to go for clubs, for apparel for your clubs, for your businesses, if that's what you want. He will take custom orders with you and get them out very quick. And again, it's stitched, it's not printed, and we look forward to having you, Denny, on the show shortly. So with that, where are we going to go next, gentlemen?
I got some more to talk about.
Good. Take it over, brother.
Me and Andrew are from the Muskegon Railroad Historical Society. We're a nonprofit in Muskegon, trying to keep the railroad history alive in Muskegon area, West Michigan. We do have a new website. We'll get it to Ken. He can put it down in the link.
Okay.
Because I right offhand don't remember what it is because he's only told them to me once. We used to have another website. Now we got a new one. We have a new website chair, which we're grateful for, John Buckley, and he's taking care of that now. So, and our new building that we're in now is totally remodeled, and we're starting to work on working on displays and then and start building layouts and things here pretty soon. So if you're up in the Muskegon area, definitely look us up. 2371 Marquette in Muskegon. And you can look us up. Facebook page also we have, and he'll be doing stuff on that too for updates and things. So definitely, I don't just make throttle holders.
Oh, that's right. You made this for us.
Oh yeah.
You made the one that holds the NCE Pro Cab radio system, which you're going to get to use tonight.
Thank you, sir.
And you make it hold both of them. Yeah. Check it out. And he also sells throttle holders on eBay. Tell us where to go to look that up.
You can just look up NCE throttle holders.
Okay.
Digitrack throttle holders.
Okay.
And they'll all come up under that wrought iron express throttle holders. It'll all come up under NCE, or just put in. You can just put now that I sell something. You just put in throttle holder, and they'll come up. And then if I don't make your throttle holder, don't freak out.
There you go.
Some people, if it's an odd throttle holder or something new or new throttle, I'll have them ship me their throttle. I'll build the throttle holder for it and ship you back that throttle. Won't even charge anything.
Right.
So if there's a throttle that
You want
you're
that.
not.
You're running trains with that tonight. You're
Oh,
gonna
am I
want
right?
that
Is this the one I'm using?
That's the
Got
one.
it.
He's got the big
get
one.
this one.
You've
Got
got the
it.
simple to run one. They're both radios, and they cover all the 157 feet of main line down here.
Yeah, a good friend of mine was telling me that you can take your old hammerheads that are plug-in, send them to NCE, and they will make it wireless for like 50-some bucks a piece.
Right. Everything's completely upgradable
Yep.
about the system. So you
Yeah, that's
start
what's
out
so
with
great
a
about it.
basic system.
I love
and
it.
it just, as you grow,
grows
as your
with you.
experience grows, the system grows with you. And the technology is still fantastic.
Yeah, I still get, I don't know if it's complaints, but people tell me all the time I don't charge enough. Well, I'm not just trying to make a living out of killing. And I want people to enjoy the throttle holder. I want people to be able to get them and put them on their layout. I don't make a lot of money on them, just barely over shipping and costs and all that. But I just enjoy doing it and getting it out there for the hobby. That's what I like to do. So.
And by the way, you can buy these from Spring Creek. They've got those
Spring
in
Creek,
stock.
yeah. Hobby store.
Plus, on the last show that they were on, they had that proto throttle, the one that's got the actual
Yeah,
right?
that was really cool.
The levers, it's like a real locomotive from
has
Scott
all the-
Thornton, right? And they offer one with a red faceplate,
Yeah, they had a
which
custom
is
plate to go over it. Yeah.
custom
Yeah.
made just for Spring Creek model trains. So check them out. Just Dave and Deb Zucker and the two brothers are just awesome people. I love working with them. So with that, I could just go on and on about how great the people are in this hobby. I want to thank very much Andy Buzzard for running camera for us tonight. Good job. Thank you. And Woody. Woody is the Toy Story, right? Woody, right?
Right.
The cowboy. And Andy owned Woody, so it was easy to remember both of your names tonight. So Andy, you own Woody. I know it's the best
It's
cowboy.
right there.
Does it say Andy on my foot? It doesn't say Andy on my foot, man.
I know, right? I'm going to get an indelible marker, right, Andy?
Don't
Flower.
go to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it.
Right on.
It's all about the hobby shop banter that we do right here on this show every night. And tonight was a great night to have.
Can I say one thing, Ken?
Yes.
This is just a momentous night tonight because I'm happy to announce, after a lot of deliberation and a few threats, our website is now up again.
Yes.
As soon as I'm able to go through it and make sure it is proper, folks will find out that.
How do they get to it?
I don't want to say it right now because it's not up,
Okay.
but it'll.
We'll get you our links so
We
you can
will
put our
update
websites
it. We
out.
will update
I don't
this.
want to say it's lundystudios.com, but nothing changed.
But if you Googled it, you're probably going to find it. Otherwise, we'll give you the links
It's
next week on the show.
lundystudios.com.
Next week on the show, we've got the folks, the new proprietors of Microengineering, a father and 3 sons that are going to make this a great hobby for all of us at
Very cool
Microengineering. Look
Yep.
forward to having you all meet them next week on the show. And so with that, this is the best hobby in the world. And gentlemen, let's go run some trains.
Like that.
Okay, that was 20, actually more than 29 minutes. We got to do a thumbnail now, so let's all smile at the
yeah.
camera and show some teeth. And after we're done with this, Andy, I want you to keep camera 1 running so that I can roll the credits. That's how we generally do that lately around here for the last, 35 shows. All right, show some teeth and smile, gentlemen. And that's how we get our thumbnail. And just let that camera roll. And thank you very much. Good job, guys.
Thank you, sir. Great job as usual.
I'm going to kill sound. And it just, you guys made it seem easy and it went really quick tonight. We've got a whole lot of new products to talk about next week, too. I can't wait.
Can I talk in? Okay. I couldn't do justice with the zoom on that. So you can do close-ups? You can do close-ups? Okay, because that, I could see you holding up the etched, but I couldn't see the of the one you built. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Very good. I also told you to quit making me laugh, damn it. Making you laugh. You may have heard a squeak. That's what I
That's what I did. That's what I did.
All right, guys, wave at the camera and I'm going to close this one out. Good job, gentlemen.